Dubbed Mr. Brand, Thebe Ikalafeng has been recognized as one of South Africa's top 10 thinkers, and accompanying him is a self-motivated businesswoman and minister, Rose Maka. Welcome to Spirit Sunday.
Hello, Thank you.
Hello.
Good to be here.
Thank
you guys look wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Now, Thebe, where are you from?
Kimberley. I'm from Kimberley. I was born and raised in Galeshewe, and I came to Gauteng like all the migrant workers to come and see if one can create a future for himself here. So I went to Wits University, and I left Wits and I went overseas. And that's how I got here.
To being a top 10 thinker. That's amazing.
Now, Mr. Ikalafeng, you are dubbed Mr. Brand. Tell us more about that.
You know how the media will write what they want. People, but I think really where it comes from is it comes from the fact that perhaps I've worked on some of the country's biggest brands, rebranding countries, working on companies, working with individuals. So I mean, my company, Brand Leadership, is a brand specialist. I mean, we've led such big rebranding projects as the rebranding of UNISA, which is the 10th biggest university in the world, and Transnet, which is the biggest company, logistics company in Africa. And of course, I've written in the area of branding, and I've consulted to individuals, celebrities, politicians across the continent. So that's where it probably comes from when people sum it up and says, you know what, he is probably at the top of his thinking. And research was done by Makino, which is the leading research company in the country, and they tried to establish who are the top thinkers in marketing in the country. And my name was there with Mandela and Raymond Ackerman. I have no clue. I think I paid them.
Thebe, spirituality and the work that you do you bring it out to the fore when you motivate these people that you say that you've addressed?
Well, I mean, I'm not so, how should I put it? I'm not religious as in going to church every day and doing all those. But of course, I believe that there's a greater being because there's a good reason that we're all here, and there's a good reason that we and all of us, you know, I like to look at it as L. Ron Hubbard says, that all of us have got, at the end of our lives, we're going to be asked two important questions. And the first question we're going to be asked is, did you do the things you were set out to do on this earth? And the second most important thing is, did the people who knew you think your life was worth living? So of course, all of us have got a purpose in this earth. And many of us live our purposes through our work, some through church, some through their talent. So, and that's the most important thing to me. Being grounded, being spiritual and all those is really about living your mission on this earth and using yourself as a vehicle to do greater, not just for yourself, but for those around you.
A noble cause indeed. Thebe, you say that you are a brand specialist. Now we need to know what it is broken down.
Well, branding is about shaping perceptions. It's about making impressions, but it's about making the right and true impressions. So it's not about putting on a false image, which a lot of times people say, Thebe kopa brand. And I have no clue what they're talking about. But I think what they really meant to be saying is that, could you please bring out the true self in me so that I can project that at all times consistently? Because that's what Coca-Cola does. That's what Nokia does. That's what you do. That's what you and I should do. You know, when we think about, we talk about spirituality, talk about Jesus, he's a brand. You know, you talk about Mandela, he's a brand. He's in the same way that Nokia is a brand, because what branding is about promise made and a promise kept. It's about trust. It's about trust, and it's about being reliable. So that's what we're in the business of doing. We're in the business of trying to help people bring out their true self and to project that consistently, whether they're human or whether they're inanimate as products.
But you know, you talk about bringing out the good or the best in you. You know, I mean, how do you deal with a guy Otwakokasi, for example, you know, who's also trying to make it in the corporate world, who's earning, let's say, your 5,000 rands bracket, call center, and he also wants to be a brand within that organization. How do you get the best out of him just with that background?
Correct. The first three important things I always like to say is the first thing that everybody needs to know is they need to understand what's a scoop on them. So just the same way that we do research on companies, as an individual also needs to know, how do people perceive me? And what is it true about, what is their perceptions in line with who I am as an individual? The second thing, then you need to clarify your proposition. So you need to say, what do I want to be when I grow up?
Yes.
So and also answer the most important question: what is it that I will kill for? In other words, what is it that I will not tolerate if anybody crosses that line? You know, people says they've crossed the last nerve. So what is that last nerve? So you need to know all that. And then the third most important thing is you can't just be a brand on air. So you need to also then need to decide what is it that you're going to do for a living. So some of you will say, I want to be in entertainment, or I want to be in production or in front of the camera, or I want to be in marketing. And then competence, which is the third part, is now you need to train yourself to get there. You need to get the right experience, the right education, and all those. So a lot of times, you know, people in the workplace, you know, they drag their feet and they look around. They say, you know, in this company, it's all about who you know. It's never about who you know. It's who knows you. And they're not going to get to know you unless they know you've got something to offer. So if you are trying to become somebody in any organization, you need to establish first, you have the right, are you exhibiting the right impressions about yourself? And second most important, are you clear about what's important to you? And then third, are you doing what it takes to get there?